So what does it mean to practice 3 lines of work? So here in Osada, what we are doing is we are growing ourselves. So we are doing the inner work, working on ourselves, and this is the first line of work. And then the purpose of inner growth is to play the role in the community and bring value to the community, so that the community itself, the Osada as a separate entity, can be more alive, can fulfill its potential. So this is the second line of work. And the third line of work is for Osada, for the whole community, to deliver value, to provide value to the outer world, to the bigger whole. So it's about being nested. You and I, we are nested in something bigger. And for us, this is the community. And our community is nested in something even bigger, which may be this region where we live. So this Prosinko 28, the neighborhood. It can be also a kind of community of people interested in the same thing. For example, people who care about regenerative culture, or edge workers, or evolutionaries. And the third line of work is about being in connection, being in contact and in flow of value, of non-material value, with the outer world. So, for example, this year we have hosted many people who come here to Osada for a week, a couple of weeks, or even a couple of months. And they know they will not stay here in Osada, but on their path. It is very valuable for them to be inspired and to take also part in this project. And we know they will move forward and take the inspiration, our values, our also know-how to the world. And at the same time, when they are coming to Osada, they can support the project. So the greater whole is supporting the Osada, the project, the community. And without that, any living organism will die, without this kind of exchange. So the third line of work is basically about breathing, like our bodies. We breathe in, breathe out. We take oxygen, we take nutrients from the outside, and also we provide something to the outside. And without the third line of work, a project or a living being, living system, cannot really regenerate. So it is also about reconnecting or rebuilding connection with something greater. About remembering that we are nested. We as human beings, and also we as a community. We are nested in something much bigger than ourselves. And in very practical terms, for Osada, the third line of work is also participating in, for example, festivals. So this year we went to the biggest rock festival in Poland with, I think, over 100,000 people visiting. And for 4 days we had a tent in which we offered 4 workshops every day. And these were the workshops about what we care about. So it was about human connection, about being in community, about climate crisis and biodiversity crisis. It was also about how to bring yourself into the world and how to grow up in service to something greater. What kind of jobs in the regenerative cultures we can have. So it was no different from what we do here every day in Osada, but being at the festival, we met hundreds of usually young or very young people who are looking for something, who have this necessity to ask difficult questions, to be in contact with people who maybe are 1 or 2 steps ahead of them on the path in their lives. And this is how Osada is providing value. And also the third line of work for us is creating good connections with our neighbors. So Prosinko 28, our 11 hectares of land, is not an island, but we really can visit each other for coffee, for tea. We can bring cucumbers from our neighbors, and we can tell them about different ways of farming. We can inspire them with how we can communicate, or how we can actually how can we be in a farm differently from a traditional family-based system. And we already see a lot of interest from our neighbors, and also we are learning how to be in contact with them, not as teachers or as gurus who are coming from another planet and just, tell people how to live, but how to be really a part of the larger ecosystem, also social human ecosystem. And in this way, we also discover how we as a project can grow and can be more aware of what is really valuable in what we do. And also, during this first year here on land, we've been still looking for our identity. So we had some preconceptions, we had some projections, ideas about what Osada is, and being in contact with the real world is really necessary for us to verify these ideas and also to discover how we really can be in this world right now in the year 2022 with this climate, with this drought, with the social problems people have, with the context of different groups of people coming. So the third line of work is an opportunity for us to use the world as a mirror, so we can get to know each other within the community and us as a project better. Also our shadow, so we see how we influence the world, and also we can grow up by listening to the world and by asking for feedback and for seeing what is really necessary and not what we imagine is necessary. And this is the process of becoming, of discovering the potential of Osada and the potential of the vision we've had, because what we can produce in our minds is just the first layer of what is underneath this idea of Osada. And we have been discovering this, and we have been becoming as a project. And where we are right now wouldn't have been possible without doing the third line of work, which is very often inconvenient, it's difficult, it's disappointing. And at the same time, it's absolutely fundamental to the growth in the world. So the third line of work is also about killing some fantasies or being disillusioned about how we are, or how we would be perceived, or how cool we would be as a project, or how people would react to us. And at the same time, it's about being surprised with things we didn't expect.